But another thing that Trump is also doing now is ending the green fantasy with his plan to scrap a giant wind farm that had been approved by the Biden team at the last minute. Now, this is part of a bigger part of the Trump administration's attempt to halt wind turbine construction in the U.S. Living here in Australia, where we are absolutely infested with these things, and we're only getting more of them, I say good on him and bring some of that here. What's the reaction of the energy markets to all of this here? I mean, is the green fantasy just done in the U.S. now?
I think it's going to go back to what it should have been in the first place, which is a new technology that has the ability to add to the grid and so forth, to continue to develop over time, but it's not going to get this sort of almost religious sort of treatment in Washington, D.C. You're reading now about the oil companies refocusing again on fossil fuels because that's where the growth is, that's where the action is. And I think that's a trend. What you're seeing is just the pendulum swinging back to the other side. It went way too far to the left and encouraging this kind of alternative energy. Look, I'm not opposed to wind. Donald Trump hates it. He thinks they're ugly. I can't argue with that. I'm not opposed to alternative forms of energy. I'm just opposed to the heavy government subsidies that they've been receiving. Trump is going to push back really, really hard, and I think you'll see the pendulum swing back to some place. Eventually, we end up at the right place, which is a balance of sort of an all-of-the-above energy policy.
Now, finally, speaking of just rebalancing everything here, we've seen another move this week to rebalance where things are made in manufacturing. We've seen tech giant Apple committing to investing $100 million in the U.S. through a new American manufacturing program. Here's a little bit of Donald Trump talking about it.
It's $100 billion more than they were originally going to invest. And this is the largest investment Apple has ever made in America and anywhere else. And it's just an honor to have you. As you know, Apple's been an investor in other countries a little bit. I won't say which ones, but a couple. And they're coming home.
So does this mean here, Mick, that we're going to start to see our iPhones and things like that made in America now? Is that where this is all going?
Yeah, I don't know, James. Maybe I've got a different take on this, but I don't trust Tim Cook. I really don't trust Tim Cook. I've seen him interact with the president before, and part of me is wondering, and if I was still in the White House, this is, after that presentation yesterday, if I was still chief of staff, the door closed, I go to the president and say, look, Mr. President, this is great. It's great news. It is. I hope it works out. I really do. I'm afraid that they might just be telling you what you want to hear. Here's what we need to be doing. Make sure we hold their feet to the fire on this and make sure they follow through. It didn't go lost on me, James, that some of the comments from Apple, from Tim Cook, said that it would take longer than 4 years to get these investments in the ground. That's outside the Trump presidency. It makes me wonder if they're simply sort of playing what we used to call Plan B, which is they plan on being around a long time after Donald Trump is gone. So look, it's great news. Unambiguously, it's wonderful news, but actions, as so often in life, speak louder than words. Let's see what Apple actually does.
Well, yeah, I'll be very interested to see if we do wind up seeing one of those made in America iPhones. Mick Mulvaney, thank you, as always, for joining me here on the U.S. Report.
Thanks, James.